I think we could all collectively agree. It's time to defund Zeus. Like, we tried to give them their chance. We tried to petition. But it's time.
Let's talk about it.
Listen, I know y'all want to get to the tea, and baby, we will. But for those of y'all that's been living under a rock, baby, my name is Santana. I only been on YouTube since like 2016. Started off going viral, telling stories about my crazy life. A couple of years later, I started doing ratchet recipes, went viral on TikTok. Then I opened up a channel, Aligning Souls, where I was, using my spiritual and psychic gifts to help the girls and whip them back into alignment. In other words, baby, she's gifted. And see, now I'm here to share all of those gifts on one channel. So I mean, whether it's a deep dive, a commentary video, cooking, music, reading horoscopes, baby, if I want to upload a video of me picking my nose and breathing for 60 minutes, I'ma do it. My house, my rules. I mean, I just ask that y'all follow me over on Twitter so I can stop talking to myself. And before you go and try to seek help and seek therapy, baby, seek me. Go to my website and book yourself a personal reading if you need one. Now, feel free to sound off in the comments, but be respectful and act like you got that act right. Because, baby, while you trying to be funny, I'll be hilarious and take the show on the road every time. Now, this channel is for critical thinkers. We may not always agree. You may not always even like me. But one thing's for sure, your life will be changed after experiencing me. So subscribe. And if you can afford to take a quarter and throw it into a jar every day, and it's not going to leave you like homeless or destitute, baby, then you can afford the channel memberships. Go ahead and click that join button or go to Patreon. It's really your choice. Whatever you prefer, just give me them coins. Run me my coin. Nah, enough of me rambling, child. I think we made it past the part that was needed to get this video monetized, child. Nah, you what we doing. Nah. Let's get into it.
I want people to have fun. Let's kick back. Let's get into a little tea. Let's not get too crazy, but let's enjoy the sip.
But let's get to the chi-chi, the kiki, the internet bull.
You hear me? I'm right here. I'm not leaving you alone. No one's leaving you alone, but I need you to look at me. Open your eyes real fast. Her eyes and like just everything just started going downhill. Okay. Oh, shit.
Sit up.
Are you serious? So when I went over to the other sprinter to check on Smiley, I see her like not responding. She's like,
3-4 shots do not do that to you, mama. I'm 5'1", 118 pounds, and 4 shots don't even put me on my ass. You a hefty girl. Like, ain't no way.
Ocho Rios in Jamaica. I'm so worried.
Hey! Natalie, why the fuck is she
Oh no, she's having a meeting. She's fucking fake.
What's going on, y'all? It's me, Santana, aka Chi. And we are back for another Chi aka recap of this show. I just want to remind y'all, Broken Silence with a Z .cc is where you go to watch Baddies for free. Somebody else said something about main event. I don't know a thing about that other website. This is the one I use. BrokenSilence.cc to watch Baddies for free. Zeus is out of control. We've known this. So much so it's at the point where now there's a petition to get Rolly off the show. We've discussed it. We've kikied about it. We've even done videos like this with Baddies Caribbean, where I told y'all that they playing in our face. Somebody got fed up enough to where they started a petition for Rolly. It's over 100K signatures right now. And all I can think of after watching this episode, well, barely watching this episode, because I probably, if the episode was 50 minutes, I probably got through 40 minutes of it before I had to start skipping.
because they got extremely uncomfortable, extremely triggering, and just downright hard to watch. I don't know if it's the age of Aquarius. I don't know. But the fact that we have this petition to get Rolly off the show, people are coming out in numbers to show that they mean business. Like, they mean business and they want this girl off the show. And actually, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Yeah. Yep, it's sitting at about, let me see. Hold on, because I don't want my information popping up. Okay. Yeah, let me go ahead and put this back on screen. Okay, so right now the petition is sitting at about 142,000. And the goal is 150,000. And then after that, it's probably going to be 200,000, then 500,000. But people are clearly showing up in numbers to show that they mean business. The TikToks are going crazy. It's all over Twitter. Even the T pages are retweeting pages. Like, people are serious. I've already stated how I felt in that video that I did about the petition. I still feel like a huge chunk of the people that's mad and upset, it's just performative outrage, because it's just like a group of us and, you know, wanting to feel included, but like people still gonna be tuned in, whatever. But it is getting to a point where something needs to be done. Something needs to be done, because I was literally just thinking about it earlier, like, okay, oh, I can't wait for, and it was right after I put up one of my Baddies East T videos. I was like, you know, like, I don't like the show, I don't like the company, but like, I love the show. And I hate the company, but like, I don't like the show, but I love the show. It's like love, hate watch. Like, it's a guilty pleasure. It's just like, damn, it's getting to a point where it's just like, it's too much. Something gonna have to change. You know what I mean? It's like, I can get up here and we can do these videos and we can talk about what needs to change. Like, oh, Rolly needs to go. Oh, they need to stop bullying the girls. Da, 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 da. Which is major changes that need to happen. But I have to sit and do this uncomfortable ass episode where they literally milked this girl having a seizure. Then everybody's reaction to her, and just everybody's reactions, period, throughout this entire episode. Again, I don't know if it's Age of Aquarius, but the fact that Rolly's petition has this many signatures, and then this uncomfortable ass episode that's leaving everybody like feeling a way about it. I don't know if this is going to end well for Zeus. I don't. 2024 is not the year to fuck around. It's not the year. 2024 actually is the year to fuck around and find out. Diddy was just the start, the catalyst of what's to come. Cat Williams was just the start, the catalyst of what's to come. But 2024 is seriously the year. Fuck around and find out. And it's a year of 8. And 8 rules infinity. It also rules karma. It's Saturn. It's things that you don't want to play around with. And it's like, what's on the bottom will become on top, and what's on top will become on the bottom. So it's like, even though they're making $18 million monthly now, even though that they have millions of subscribers and viewers now, again, this is a year of fuck around and find out. And if people are really, really triggered and feel away about the episode that I just watched, like I do, I don't know. So this isn't going to be a traditional review. It's not. Because there is no funny with it. Like, when I first started off watching it, I was getting annoyed throughout every scene, but it was still about to be a typical review. But once I got the Smiley on the bus, I was just like, yeah, there's no way that I could just sit here and try to be funny. And I can't. So we just want to talk through this episode. And I really just want to jump immediately into the Smiley. But I was taking screenshots as though I was going to do a regular review. And there's things that pissed me off throughout this episode, like that just really had me upset. And we're going to go in the order of that. So one thing that had pissed me off is when House B got to the house, the girls was twerking and dancing all over, the balcony. As you see Biggie's twerking, right before the camera came into the full shot, just in case anybody want to go back and double check what I'm saying. right before the camera came into the full shot, all the girls were sitting there twerking. All of them were twerking, yelling, "Ooh, yay, we so excited, we so excited," this, that, and the third. But then Smiley yells out something. And I guess she's like yelling to the neighbors. But mind you, before Smiley even yells out, I feel like it was Automac that yelled something. Regardless, so Smiley had yelled something. And then Biggie's in her confession, like, yeah, I'm happy to be here with my girls, plus Smiley. And she said it with an attitude. And then even after Smiley said something, Camilla looked at her and gave her a stink look and put her finger on her mouth like, shush, girl, shush. And I'm just like, here y'all go with the weird shit. Here y'all go with the weird shit, because literally all of y'all were just sitting here twerking and excited. You see Smiley show excitement. Then you want to tell Smiley to calm down and to shut the fuck up, basically. And then you got Biggie in the confessional shading her. It's like, Biggie, we literally just sat and watched you cry on live. And matter of fact, I literally just, right before I got on to do this review, it was somebody in my comments talking about some, not you call her a Biggie Piggy. Ugh, I'm about to unsubscribe. And this is why I call her Piggy. Because, bitch, we literally just sat and watched you on your own platform sit and break down to tears based off of how the girls was treating you. But it's not even the next fucking episode that you're in the confessionals being a weird mean girl like the rest of them. Like, why are you in the confessionals being a mean girl towards Smiley, who has done nothing to you? What was that energy for, Biggie? What was that energy for, to sit there and be like, I'm in Jamaica with my girls, but I guess Smiley too? And then what is that energy, Camilla? What is that energy, Sky? What is that energy, Automac? Like, why can't Smiley sit there and be excited like the rest of y'all? Again, y'all was all sitting there twerking and excited and looking at the pool and all of that. But then soon as Smiley said a word, all of a sudden it's be quiet and shh, calm down. And that's what got me, because we get into the house and all of a sudden Automac wanna be on some lovey-dovey type shit, and oh, I was so drunk. And no, bitch, you wasn't that damn drunk. You wasn't. You wasn't. You want to know somebody that was drunk? Baby Smiley. Smiley was drunk for real. Smiley was drunk the house down boots. Drunk the house down boots. But your ass, Anna, you were within your right mind. You just didn't want to get your ass beat. So why is it okay for Smiley? No, why is it okay for Automac to blame everything on liquor and be like, oh, the reason why I wanted to fight last night and the reason I was so rambunctious and this, that, and the third was because I was drunk, and it flies over. But Smiley, who's literally going through a blackout right now, and mind y'all, she's in heat. We'll get to this when we get to it, but there's a lot of other factors that plays into Smiley being drunk. They're not in New York. They're not in New York weather. They're not under New York conditions. Okay. And Anna didn't have a whole bunch of girls feeding her liquor. Anna didn't have girls throwing liquor down her mouth like Smiley did. So why is it okay for Anna Mac to have a drunk night and get to the point where she about to fight Smiley, but it's not okay for Smiley to have a moment? Please make it make sense. Because it doesn't. It's like in one breath we want to say, oh, y'all be so embarrassing when we out at places, da, da, da. But depending on who is the one doing the embarrassing moment, it's okay. Because was it not embarrassing when y'all was in front of the restaurant and Anna Mac was quote unquote drunk and was trying to fight Smiley? Mind you that in that moment, Tasiki was egging it on. That's another thing that had pissed me off. So Anna Mac sat here and lied, trying to make it look like she was so belligerently drunk and blacked out. No, bitch, you didn't black out. You was scared of getting your ass whooped. So you took your anger out on Smiley because she's clearly an easy target to all of y'all again. Again. And every single one of y'all confessionals since the beginning has made Smiley the target. But Smiley, gullible, wanting to fit in, pick Misha, she hugs the damn girl. She hugs the girl. And then not even 2 seconds after she hugs the girl, remember how I said Camilla was sitting here shushing Smiley. Everybody sitting here smushing, shushing Smiley, saying that she too loud. Well, look who's yelling next. Not even 2.5 seconds later, look who's yelling next. And miss me with the, oh, well, they was inside versus outside, and maybe they didn't want the outside neighbor. Fuck all of that. They bad girls. They baddies. It's the weird pick and choose shit. It's the cherry picking shit for me. So then we get to the damn bus, and Sky's noticing what's going on, but Sky's not. Listen, because I know y'all gonna want to come in and give Sky some grace for this moment right here, where all of a sudden she wanted to jump in and Sky wanted camera time. I feel like 50% of Sky felt bad because she knew where shit was going to head and she did nothing. And then 50% of her was like, bitch, I ain't do nothing else all this season. So let me go ahead and clock in. Let me go ahead and do something that I can do. I mean, I can fight, but I don't want to fight. But I know that I can also be mother hen. So let me go ahead and hatch this chicken back to where she needs to be. Let me go ahead and get my camera time in a way that doesn't involve me fighting. That's what it was given. Because you sitting here partying, everybody sitting here partying. Y'all saying that y'all never saw Smiley drink before, so why we pouring drinks down her mouth? This entire episode was just, it was triggering and it was very uncomfortable. Because, see, this is how shit like Kanika Jenkins happens. This is how shit like the girl, I can't even remember her name, but the girl that went missing about a year ago. Or it wasn't even a year ago. Was it a year ago? I think it was about a year ago. The girl that went missing on the Miami trip, or no, not even missing. How they beat her or something like that. Like, what I'm trying to say is, you got to be careful about around who you're around, especially with a company that like Zeus, you know, that like to fuck on its cast members, that like to fuck on its talent. But you really got to be careful around bitches like this, because these are the type of bitches who will sit and watch you get drunk, who will pour liquor down your goddamn mouth, but then you saw the way that it went all from partying and, oh, let's have fun and drink, shot, to the second that they saw that she couldn't handle her liquor, they started talking and treating her like a dog. They started talking to her and treating her like she was a dog. Not like she was one of their good girlfriends partying out with them. And if you go back to the scene and watch, Sky said something that I believe Camilla said something, then Tasiki, and then Anna Mac jumped in. It was kind of like a chain reaction. And Anna Mac, I be trying to give her grace, but like everything about her gives pick me. It gives little sister vibes. It gives have a big sister. It's feeling I'm gonna jump in. Like even the way that she started trying to chime in gave, okay, somebody else said something, so now I gotta say something too. But like the energy drastically changed from, oh, shot, Betty shot a clock, to, girl, you embarrassing us. You embarrassing us. We ain't even get there yet. You embarrassing us at the fun. Y'all are going to the fucking beach. Y'all are going to a beach. A day party at a beach. What is embarrassing about being, I mean, first of all, being blacked out drunk is embarrassing, period. But that's what you do at a fucking beach party. Like, y'all acting like y'all going to a hospital. Y'all going to charity. Like, it's just the weird cherry picking. It's just the weird picking on Smiley for me that I don't like. And like I said, I know y'all gonna want to give Sky her 10s for this episode. No, because you sat right there as well. The rest of them did. And y'all can sit and say all day, oh, Smiley's a grown woman. No, fuck that. Grown woman that's supposedly with my friends, or quote unquote my team. And y'all not new to this. Y'all are true to this. How many episodes are we in? We're 16 episodes in. 3 weeks into this shit at this point. I don't care if they best friends or not. Like Scotty said later on, this is a cast. I don't want to see another cast member get hurt. For real. And then even on top of that, it's like, y'all are House B. Yes, she's a grown woman. Yes, they're all grown women. But at the same time, just common courtesy, just from being a fucking decent human being, it's like, all right, chill out. You getting too drunk. Like, because y'all clearly see how once shit hit the fan, it took up the entire episode and it took up so much of their time. That's when all of that grown shit goes out the window. That's why you should be stepping in and interfering, if anything. Is it because, bitch, I don't want you to fuck up our time. So watch your liquor. But if nothing else, bitch, her damn health, like this shit was just incredibly triggering for me. As somebody who goes out, as somebody who's been blacked out drunk, as somebody who has gotten to the point of Smiley, and very recently, like a couple of days ago, this shit was extremely triggering for me. Or everything about this was triggering. From the way that Smiley was acting, from the way that all of these motherfuckers were sitting here partying, and it was good for them to pour liquor down her damn throat. But then the second shit hit the fan, I did not like that. I did not like that. And that's reminded me of times where I've been out with people and it was shot, baddie, shot o'clock. Oh, everything going good, this, that, and the third. But then you wake up and your ass is just in the middle of nowhere somewhere. Don't know what the hell happened. Don't know how the hell you got there. Everybody gone. Phone probably like just. It's like everything is good when you pouring the bottles, when you buying people shots. You know, when you everything good. But you got to be careful around bitches like that. You really got to be like this extends past Baddies and past Zeus. This is a real life lesson. You got to be really motherfucking careful about who it is that you're around. Because it says a lot about people that will sit and watch you get drunk, or people that will partake in getting drunk with you and this, that, and the third, and then turn on you that quick. It says a lot. So all of this on the bus, miss me with that. I don't give a fuck. She don't get brownie points. This was real. Completely real. This was too much. Shout out to my baby Punch, because Punch was the star of this episode for me. Punch was there front and center helping the girl. And I loved that. I loved that. I said one thing Punch going to do is be in the middle of the shot. He's going to be in the middle of the goddamn scene. Okay? I hope they paying Punch good. But this whole thing with Natalie and the way that Natalie was talking to her, I was like, see, now I get why it took us 2 weeks to get this episode. Because y'all know, the rumor was that the reason why we did not get an episode New Year's Eve was because Natalie did not like how she came off in the episode. And she wanted to go back and edit something because she basically didn't like how she was edited. Now I see. Because even from this edit that we got, she was saying some wild shit to Smiley. Now, I don't know if y'all ever been around people that's blacked out drunk, because there's levels to this shit. There's sober, then there's sober, then there's tipsy, then there's wavy, then there's drunk, then there's blackout drunk. Now, blackout drunk is when you do not remember shit. It's like completely gone. Wavy is typically where you want to be. It's like, I'm feeling it, but I'm not throwing up all over the place. I'm still coherent enough to have a good time, but I'm like, it's like a high almost. Drunk is like you all over the place, like stumbling and about to throw up and da-da-da-da. Drunk is not necessarily fun. Wavy is like I'm like a light drunk. Like I can't explain it. But like wavy is where you want to be. It's like I'm drunk, but I'm not at the heaviest of drunk, but I'm good. Like I'm holding my liquor. I'm drunk, but I'm holding my liquor basically. But drunk is like, Smiley was way past drunk. She hit her limit. And I know Sky kept saying, oh, she only had 4 shots. Bitch, she only had 4 shots that you gave her. When you chugging from the bottle, that's not 4 shots. That's you chugging from a fucking bottle. And trust me when I tell you, as somebody that's been drinking since 12, as somebody that was literally in Smiley's position this past Friday, I'm telling you, that girl wasn't faking. She was not faking. Because the exact same thing happened to me on Friday. And I'm going to tell you how it happened. Because what happened, the way you see Smiley, this episode, it used to happen to me a lot, to the point where I had to start measuring my liquor. I don't understand how people could just go to the bar and have like one drink or two drink. No, because everybody don't pour liquor the same, and I can't. And then especially now after 30, that's a hard lesson that I've had to learn this year, is that after 30, my body is different. It reacts differently to liquor. Like ever since 2023 hit, my body reacts differently to liquor than how it did before. Before, I used to be able to drink 1.75 liters. That's literally how much I was drinking, was 1.75 liter. I would drink that in entirety. And I would have to measure, and it would come out to be 2 16-ounce water bottles. Again, I've been drinking since 12, but it would come out to 16-ounce water bottles. Then over the last like year or so, my tolerance went down. Well, I want to say kind of like maybe like ever since I started like moans and shit, it kind of went down. But I nonetheless, it went from 2 water bottles to 1.5 water bottles. And basically that's kind of where it's at. And so over the last year, as my body has been getting used to like the over 30 hump, it hits different now. And mind you too, during the month of May, well, from April 21st to June 1st, I try to do something called Tourist Turn Up, because my birthday is May 19th. So I try to do something called Tourist Turn Up, where I go out as much as possible, if not every day, and drink and party. And that is something that I was successfully doing like the last year or two. So that also added to it, to my tolerance and whatnot. But after I turned 30, like I said, shit started hitting way different. And it went from kind of being 1.5 bottles to maybe like 1 bottle. And then I got to check and see if I need the other half, whatever. But I've had to start doing that, because I would black out and end up exactly like Smiley. Because that is the point where you are going way over your limit. And for me, I'm not a drunk that fights. Like, I'm not that type of person who drinks alcohol and starts fighting, and I'm a happy drunk. And then aside from that, I literally just fall asleep. Just fall asleep. Like, literally just fall asleep. But there's been a lot of times where people have thought that I was dead. Like, I've had like club owners and security guards and whatnot call ambulances and shit on me, and I've woken up in hell, jail, woken up in fucking hospitals and shit. Like, yeah, okay. And shit can be scary. And so on Friday, like I keep saying, what happens to Smiley literally happened to me. And it happened because I had my usual limit that I drink, had my water bottle set. But what ends up happening is you know your limit. You know your limit. You know not to go over your limit, especially if, you know, you don't want to black out, or you blacked out before. It's just like, okay, this is my limit. I'm not going over it. It like, for me, it's a water bottle and a half. For y'all, it might be, okay, I know I can only drink 2 drinks. Boom. And then, of course, like, there's wiggle room where it's like, maybe your body can handle up to 6 drinks, but you know, like, once you get to 3, that's when you enter in drunk era. And then like by 5, it's blackout and you ain't remembering shit, and you might wake up in a ditch. Like, it all depends. For me, I had that limit, but then as the night is going on, you start drinking, you start becoming less aware of things, less strict with things. And, you know, you start meeting people. Like, for me, I was out with a friend. We met somebody, because, you know, always meeting people, whatever. They had a bottle. We ended up taking shots from the bottle, doing Baddy shot o'clock from the bottle. That was on top of my limit. Long story short, I ended up blacking out like Smiley. And there, like, the best way to explain it is you do come in and out. Everything that Smiley was showing on camera is real, y'all. It's not fake. And if she was faking it, I still wouldn't even be mad. I still wouldn't even be like, if it comes out that Smiley was faking it, I wouldn't be mad, because the way that they've treated her, bitch, at this point, I am going to be the star of the show now. Now I'm going to take the show away from you. But I don't think she was faking it. I don't. Because again, as somebody that's going through it several times and just recently went through a Friday, there is moments where you're unfucking conscious. You're throwing up. You don't even know what's going on. You do not know what's going on. And when you wake up the next day, all you remember is when you started drinking, You remember bits and pieces in between. And then that's it. And then you're like, what? How the fuck did I get home? And that's how it was for me. I remember when I had started. I remember when I took them shots that I should not have taken. Next thing I know, I was somewhere. Then next thing I know, I ended up somewhere completely different on the other side of the town. And then when I realized at that point, mind you, because between those two places, I was still with the person I was originally with, but it's in such different locations. I drunk at the time, not able to understand like what's going on. Looking back at hindsight, we had to have catch the cab or something. I don't know. But I just remember waking up and this person being like, come on, come on, come on. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. And they're like trying to like convince me like to go to this club or whatever. And I'm just like, again, having gone through it prior, I'm just like, no, like I need to go home because I do not remember what the hell just happened in the last hour. All I remember is taking a shot. And something clearly just happened in the last hour for me to be all the way on the other side of town. I need to go home. This shit is dangerous. And that was me. That was a moment from God because usually it doesn't work like that. Usually it does not work like that. Like you will be consciously unconscious or unconsciously conscious. Like people have told me stories like, oh, you've woken up and did this and da-da-da. And I have no recollection. No recollection. And in that moment, again, all I remember is taking shots, end up at a club, remember arguing with a guard, ending up on a completely different side of town. And then at that moment where I realized that they're trying to get me to go somewhere else, and I'm just like, clearly I'm unconscious. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I do you not see that I'm just now gaining consciousness? Like, and so for me, it's like, well, damn, were you that drunk that you didn't realize that I was this drunk? Or like, were you like, cause it's like, cause the way that I'm waking up, it's seeming like you had to drag me to get to this point. Like all of it is very much tying into what I was saying about the bus. Like, you got to be careful about who you around. Cause sometimes it's literally just a part of the night where it's just like everybody lit, everybody drunk. And don't get me wrong, again, I am a party animal. Like I come from the era of white girl wasted where it's just like, bitch, we all drunk. Like, hold up the hair, let me place you in front of the toilet. We're gonna get you some water, some pizza, maybe take another shot, or just, wait for the recap in the morning and then come back out tomorrow and do it all over again. Like different strokes for different folks. You got to figure out every whatever. But it's different when you're at the point where you're blacked out. Because we're not talking about drunk. We're not talking about wavy. We're not talking about tipsy. We're talking about blacked out, which is what Smiley was. And that's where I was. And so, like I said, there was like a bit, like a flash moment, grace from God that was just like, go home. And I did. And my pocket suffered from it because we're going to say I paid a bag for a cab, like over $100. I paid a bag for a cab and I don't even know how I made it. And, yeah, I'm still trying to piece together that night. And it's extremely uncomfortable. It's extremely uncomfortable because it was some other like psychic shit going on that night that I feel like kind of played up why I was drinking so much and whatnot. Yeah, I don't even want to get into that. That's a separate video. I'm gonna just say this, just to end up my little personal story time. Smiley wasn't faking. Because looking at her, I saw myself and I saw what I've been through. I saw what other people around me have gone through. And she wasn't faking. And you really do snap in and out like that. Because you gotta think of it like this. It's a person that's drunk, but it's just like you get past the point of your limit. So it's like it kind of like does knock you unconscious. Like I can't explain it. Like you come in and out. It's like because as y'all saw, they was feeding her water So it will get to a point where the water will, start, I don't know, moistening your insides, or like it'll hit, like, child, I don't know, it'll digest, and then maybe that'll revive something in you for a second. Like, I don't know. Or you'll throw up a little bit and then it'll revive you for a second. Like, come on. Y'all have been drunk before. You know how it feels to be drunk, and then you throw up, and then like you feel good for 2 seconds, but then maybe an hour later you realize you still got more in you, so you gotta go back. Like, it's a roller coaster. It is. It is, because naturally your body wants to get all of that out of you. You know what I mean? So when you keep giving a person water and they're drunk, that's actually what you're not supposed to do. I'm not a doctor, but as somebody who's damn near been a fucking social alcoholic since I was 12, giving a person water is really, the only benefit to it is to make them throw up, because your body needs to get rid of the liquor first. Get rid of that liquor first. Okay, if you're gonna give somebody anything, the hangover cure is pickle juice. Pickle juice works. Sprite works. Anything with Tabasco in it, I usually do like ramen with Tabasco. That's a hangover cure, but pickle juice works the best. That works the absolute best. Give somebody pickles, or give them just pickle juice for a hangover. That's why people do pickleback shots. Okay, picklebacks. Pickle and whiskey. Okay. But yeah, Smiley wasn't faking it. Like I said, you snap in and out of consciousness. And so as Sky was giving her more water, that's why she kept throwing up, because the more water that she was drinking, it was going down, but that liquor needs to come up first. So it's pushing it out of her. Trust me when I tell you, again, I was out on Friday. I was sick all the way up until, what's today? Today's Sunday. Wait, let me see. No. I'm lying. I was out on Thursday night, because I was going to say, I knew I was sick for 48 hours. But I went out Thursday night, and I was sick all the way up until Saturday night. I kid you not. I kid you not. You can even check my Twitter. I was tweeting about being hungover as fuck and tweeting about ordering chinos. I couldn't even enjoy that shit. Like, I was throwing everything up, like, because the liquor had to get up out of my system. So I kept forcing myself to drink more and more water to get it up out. So as Scott is giving Smiley more and more water to drink, it's forcing that liquor to come up out of her. That's what's happening. And every time that it's coming up, it's giving her essentially like another breath at life. Not that she was about to necessarily die, but like it's giving her a little bit of more consciousness. That's why she's snapping in and out. Okay, that's why she's snapping in and out. Now y'all can look at her and be like, "Oh, she a big bitch," giving her weight. Why hit her? Listen. Things hit people differently. And then especially if she really did have a miscarriage, that would explain too why the liquor is hitting her the way that it is. Like, why has nobody said that? I have not seen that on Twitter yet. Do y'all not realize how quick these seasons are filmed? She just had a fucking miscarriage maybe 3 days before. I know it was like 5 episodes ago, but it was literally like 3 days before. This season was only shot in 3 weeks, y'all. So if she really had a miscarriage and she's sitting here drinking and all of that like this, that's another part of it, y'all. I don't know what else to say other than she's not lying. And I will stand on that. I will literally stand on that, because I literally just went through this and I've been through it several times. I will stand on that. So all of this that Natalie was doing, she can't fucking hear you. Just because she's up in her eyes, or that she cannot hear you, she's not conscious. Literally not conscious. Literally. And will not remember it the next day. And yes, you do yell out, because that's another thing too that I want to say. Because she kept saying, "I hate my life and I hate my son." No, she was saying, "I hate my life. Where's my son? I hate my life. Where's my son?" And yes, while it can seem very performative, because all we know about her is her having a child, trust me when I tell y'all, this shit is real. This shit is real. Everything I'm telling y'all now that I went through on Thursday, I've been feeling extremely uncomfortable about. And I always feel uncomfortable when I black out, but I've been feeling extremely uncomfortable, because even before I saw this episode and saw what she was saying, I always feel uncomfortable when I black out, because I'm like, what did I say? We're not gonna cry. But it's a story time for another day. Ooh. Y'all go like this video while I try to think of how to word this.
Who the fuck won't roll with the queen? Who the fuck dancing these hoes take a pee? Tell you every time I slide on the beat. None of these bitches is touching you. You gon' be fine. She's a dime to these hoes. It's a bomb. She got shine. She got bomb. She got moolah on her mind. She's a fine. She's a fine. She that bitch in a prime. Wanna grind. Wanna time. Take a number. Get it done, ho. Walk it out. Hey, bitch better walk it out. Walk it out. Walk it out. Hey, bitch better walk it out. She's a fine. She's a fine. She that bitch in a prime. Wanna grind. Wanna time. Take a number. Get it done, ho.
Okay, so I'll say this. I live on what's called my Neptune and Uranus lines. There's a thing called astrocartography. Obviously, I'm very much into astrology and spirituality and all of that. And basically, astrocartography is astrology, but on a map. Because no matter where you are in the world, you are affected differently by each location because of where the planets were when you were born and things like that. Okay. And so everybody has an astrocartography map, just like everybody has a natal chart. And depending on what line you're on and depending on your chart, some things can be better. So typically, a Neptune and Uranus line you never want to be on. Uranus line is chaos. Well, Uranus basically, period. It rules chaos, plot twist, mysteries, suspense, upheaval, but just basically story times. And Neptune is all about like illusions and it rules art, but it also rules like water and alcohol and drugs and substance abuse and things like that. So when you take somebody like me, who's literally known for story times, and the reason why is because I was born on my Neptune and Uranus line, right? Neptune has made me an artist, but Neptune has also made me a party person. Okay? Alcohol abuse. And Uranus is where the chaos and the story times and all of that comes from. But something that I've discovered is that living on a Neptune line and doing Neptunian things like drinking, it can be even worse for you than a regular person. It can be even more over exaggerated than a regular person. So hence the blacking out and things like that. And that's just something that I learned recently. And I've been studying astrocartography for a couple of years now. But I just realized that by me drinking on my Neptune line, it's like 10 times the effect. That's neither here. I mean, it's here and there, but I'll just say there's a couple of things that I'm not happy with right now, currently. And a lot of masking and a lot of let's go out to have a good time. You only get one Friday a week. Let's go out, da da da. And so when I black out, I always get that gut in my stomach, like, what did I say? Because you know how they say, like, a drunk mind speaks sober thoughts? Well, baby, when you're blacked out and you're literally unconscious, it's even worse. And your like deepest, darkest thoughts, like your intrusive thoughts, can come out. And so I'll leave it at that. So I believe Smiley saying I hate my life and where's my son? Like, those are the deep, dark, intrusive person. Like, that's deeper than just I'm drunk and let me text my ex. No, it's like that deep, like soul gut wrenching, like that can't nobody get out of you unless they beat the shit out of you type of truth that can come out when you're blacked out drunk like that and you're popping in and out of consciousness. And I'm not gonna hold you, that shit almost made me cry, and I'm trying not to cry now. Because I'm telling you, all of this shit was real. All of this shit was real. Now, could she have been faking all of this because maybe she knows people that's going through it, and so she faking it just for the show? I don't know. Maybe she knows somebody in real life that has been through something like that before, and so she knows how to fake it really, really well. But I'm just telling you, as far as what I saw, it's real, because that's really how it happens. Yeah. And so all of this was going on, and I mean, as you can see with the screenshots, like all of this was going on, and Zeus was dragging it out. And it was just extremely uncomfortable for me to watch. So I just kind of scrolled through it, and I saw it. No, they really just gonna milk it. And then to hear and see all the girls get in her face and yelling, and it was too much. It was too much. And then to see that they gonna do even more of that next episode and hype Natalie and Rolly up to thinking that she said. Just be careful who y'all drink with. Obviously, be careful how much you drink. It has nothing to do with you being grown. But especially if you drink it, that's when your guard gets down. Like, come on now. We're not going to play dumb or dense. If you drinking with motherfuckers, that's a time when your guard is supposed to be down. But and we could even get into a spiritual conversation and take it way deeper. Because that's what I was saying earlier when I said some psychic shit was going on that I don't want to get into. That's saved for another video. Because right before I felt myself, I don't even want to say turning. But right before I saw myself getting drunker, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. It was things going on in the physical, like literal fights that started breaking out in the physical. And, you know, when you real spiritual, you can either see or hear or feel. Okay. And, you know, spirits are called spirits for a reason, because that's when your vibrations are down, your psychic defenses are down and whatnot. For me, they elevate. You know, my psychic gifts get more powerful. Yeah, and it was just shit going on that I was seeing that I was just like, absolutely not. This is gonna be my last time. Like, I think I'm good for real, like forever. Because I don't like what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling. And this isn't safe for me. And that's crazy. How that was my last thought before I had blacked out. Yeah. Another reason why I wonder what might have came out, but this isn't necessarily about me. All I gotta say is, yeah, Smiley wasn't faking. And listen, do not go getting down in the comments like thinking I got a problem with a other girl. Are you new here? Are you new here? We tell stories. Okay, maybe not as often as we used to, but we tell stories. It's not that deep. I got me in check, baby. Don't try to take the therapist therapy. Go book your reading with me. Okay, come sit on my couch. Okay. But let's defund Zeus. It's time to defund Zeus. Like, it's time to defund Zeus. It's time, y'all. It's time. It's time. Shout out to Smiley. I did see that she had posted something. I was going to do a separate video, but honestly, I don't even want to talk about this again. So let's just get into it now. I don't even want to talk about it again. So let's wrap this story topic up now.
I don't even know what was going on. Y'all don't know how this shit feel, bro. Y'all not feeling. Y'all not seeing how that shit feel, bro. I don't even know what was going on. I did not know what the fuck was going on this fucking shit. And it was like, I was so nervous for this shit to come home. And then I'm seeing all these comments. And I had to sit here and watch this shit. Bro, my grandma, everybody is watching this, bro. This shit.
Yeah, I don't. It just makes me feel extremely uncomfortable. And don't get me wrong, we can call out Smiley. We can call out everybody on ABS. Like, Smiley's doing the most, releasing a diss track on Mariah Land. Okay, Cool, period, hard stop. That's a separate issue. We're talking about this. The girl literally got blacked out drunk and is seeing what happened while she was unconscious. That shit is scary. First of all, it's already scary when you get drunk and don't know what happened. But when you become unconscious and blacked out, that's even scarier. Okay, and then to have footage of it, that shit is scary. Like I say all the time, like, and it's part of what keeps me from being on TikTok, even though I know I need to be on TikTok. It's just I don't want, and I say it every time I talk about TikTok. Like my Ratchet Recipes page grew so quickly. Like the way that I was fighting for like over a year on YouTube to get to 100K, and I really couldn't. I was just like stuck at 98,000. And then the way that I was able to get it in 3 weeks on TikTok at the top of 2020, that shit has scared me. And then especially now, like seeing all of these trends that people do, and I've always felt weird about it because I didn't realize until after 2020 how private of a person I am. And that's something that I had to learn because I was used to sharing so much of my life online, like telling stories and whatnot. But I really realized, like, post pandemic, like, I'm a really private person. So when you watching TikTok and then you seeing all of these trends, let me see if I can find an example. Let me see if I can find an example real quick. Okay, that was a very popular trend that was going on in like 2020 and 2021. And it would basically be people, like any and everywhere, like on the train, on the bus, at school, just any and everywhere. And they would just see somebody that's cute. And instead of being a fucking adult and going up to them and being like, hey, what's your name? I think you cute. Or, yo, you got a man, you got a girl. Instead of being a fucking adult with communication skills and going up to them, they would record them, attach this audio, and then upload it to Twitter and TikTok and be like, okay, Twitter, okay, TikTok, do y'all thing. And then social media would go searching through mutuals to go stalk that person and then low-key force them to pay attention to this person that wanted their attention to introduce them to. I've always felt like that shit was weird. And ever since then, I've been saying, especially with the access that TikTok has given people and the influence, I feel like it's weird as fuck. It's weird as fuck. And I come from the social media age. I started YouTube in 2015, technically, but 2016, where, especially when we was doing story times, we would change people's names. Yeah, if you use receipts and footage and things like that, you were very careful. You don't reveal your location. You was careful when you're doing house tours and shit like that. You know, after a while, you kind of learn, okay, if I'm gonna do a house tour, let me do it after I move out. Or like if I'm gonna drop a location of someplace I like to go, I'm gonna post it after I leave, or I'll tell you what building I lived in after, like just a whole bunch of things for safety reasons. And with TikTok, the problem is that people gain such a huge amount of influence so quickly that they don't realize the business behind it, the rules behind fucking creating content. And that shit is scary. And so when that trend would come out, I felt like it was a huge invasion of privacy. And then not just that, but like every day on TikTok, there is a new camera angle or new TikTok of just random shit, like people just going out into public, just recording people. And that shit really bothers me. It bothers me to my core because it's just like you can't really live life because everywhere there's a camera and you could end up on somebody's fucking social media going viral for just minding your fucking business. Like I cringe every time now where I see DJs on TikTok DJs on TikTok recording the party or recording the restaurant that they're hosting at. Like, why am I sitting here watching people at the restaurant eat? Why am I sitting here watching people at the club dance and partake in the club? Like, it's like nothing is fucking sacred anymore. Everything has to be recorded, and that shit is fucking weird to me. Weird to me. Because as somebody that's been out and done some things, imagine doing some things and you end up on somebody's Twitter or you end up on the shade room and the shade room is asking roommates, how y'all feel about this? Would you ever do this? Look at this person. Or you end up on CNN or ABC News. Like, I don't know. That shit is weird. So relating that back to Smiley and like my experience on Friday, it's just like, that's an extra layer. So I get the tears. I know that Smiley does a lot. I know that she and Mariah been at each other's neck. I know that I just posted the video about her and the diss track and all of this, that, and the third. All of those things can be true. Period. Hard stop. But if nothing else, whether or not you believe that the girl was goddamn drunk or not, or blacked out, whatever, we've all been there where we've gotten a little too drunk, or at least been in an uncomfortable situation that you would not have wanted recorded. Yes, she knew what she was doing, drinking liquor on a TV show. Yes, okay, cool. But again, y'all, this show was filmed in 3 weeks. The miscarriage episode might have happened 6 episodes ago, but baby, I promise you it was less than 6 days ago. She had just had the miscarriage. She was drinking more than normal. They're in Jamaica, where the weather is insanely hot. It's a Caribbean island. They're directly under the sun. Okay, heat exhaustion is a thing. Alcohol poisoning is a thing. You're in another country where the liquor is different. And who's to say whether or not you got a good or bad bottle? Okay, who's to say whether or not she drank the tap water? Like, there's a whole bunch of things that could have went into it. And then to have gone unconscious to where you do not remember a single thing. And then now you having to see it on, like, you know that this episode is coming because they done previewed it in the trailer. Then it comes and then you see how it really happened. And then on top of all of that, you're not just having to see yourself on TV. Okay, let me just watch this little scene and it's going to be over in 5 minutes. No, bitch, it's literally the entire fucking episode. Like, if the episode 50 minutes, 30 of it is me unconscious and y'all milking this shit. And then the entire fucking cast is telling me that I'm faking it. And the next episode, they all going to try to whoop my ass. And then they pouring drinks on me and shit, calling me weird, this, that, and the third. And I really just had I feel bad for Smiley. I do. And all of these bitches is where, I'm sorry, nobody's throw this entire fucking cast away. Tasiki, I was riding with you. But bitch, you weird too. You're weird too. You weird too. And I was hoping and praying that, because I originally, I did not think I was going to like Tasiki. Those of y'all that's been rocking with me since the summer when I first started doing the Baddies East Tea videos, y'all will remember that the first video I did, I was calling Tasiki teriyaki, ranch, habanero. I was calling, and I usually fuck up your name when I don't like you. But every episode I've been saying Tasiki because I've gotten to know her and I've gotten to like her. But when I was fucking up her name intentionally, I was doing it because I felt like she was going to come on the show and be that ghetto, just that ghetto bitch from the hood. That don't know shit, that has no life experience, that's just a mean ass bully. And that's what it's giving now. That's what it gave in Harlem when Anna Mac was sitting there yelling in that girl's face and you were sitting there trying to get them to fight. And that's what it's giving now, that she's sitting here going through a real life seizure, going through this alcohol poison and this blackout, and you sitting here calling her a meatball and just doing the most for what? For what, Tasiki? You was actually likable up until this. Like, where's all of this animosity and this much anger and rage coming from? Where's it coming from? Because the same way that we look at ET and be like, where's that anger for Tasiki? We could say that about you, Tasiki. We could say that about you. You got all of this anger for Smiley. Where's that anger for ET? This whole entire cast is just fucking weird. They all fucking weird.
Universal bad bitch, everybody language. Everybody knows she the mud bad. Universal bad bitch, everybody language. Everybody knows she the mud bad. Universal bad bitch, everybody language. Everybody knows she the mud bad. Universal bad bitch, everybody language. Everybody knows she the mud bad. Fuck it up, love it how they cutting up. Now these niggas swimming up, but wasn't when I'm coming up. Fuck it up, love it how they cutting up. Now these niggas swimming up, but wasn't.